All right, today is the day. We're talking about how to generate $10,000 from only 100 YouTube views. I mean, I've got 3 steps, 100 views to $10,000. I have so many channels that this is working for, and I'm excited to break it down for you today. Okay, so I'm going to pack a lot into this episode. First, I'm going to explain what those missing 3 steps are, but then I'm going to take some time to go into detail on each one so you know how to implement them so you can really get these results. So, are you ready? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to clarify these 100 YouTube views are from Leaf Strategy videos. So I'm going to write right here. Okay, so the Leaf strategy is what I'm known for, and you have to make videos that follow that strategy for this to work, okay? And what I'm talking about here with $10,000, I'm talking about business revenue. Okay, so this is $10,000 revenue in your business. Okay, so the first step from getting 100 views on your videos is you've got to have a free gift CTA. So that's call to action. And what's exciting is typically you'll have 10% that will take you up on that. So from every 100 views, this is how you generate leads. Okay, so I'm going to go into detail later in the video about what I mean by that call to action, but let me just finish painting the picture here. Okay, for this next step, I'm going to write a couple words here and then explain what they mean. So the first word I'm writing is nurture and invite. Okay, and what we're inviting them to is a strategy session, okay? When somebody joins your email list, nurturing them is not selling them. We'll go into more detail of this, I'll give some examples, but we're giving them more and more value, and we're inviting them every so often to join us on a call, okay? We call this a strategy session because we're not doing sales calls, we're doing strategy sessions. With a strategy session, it's going to lead to this a lot more effectively. Okay, and for this last step here, okay, so what I've wrote down here is that we're going to sell a done with you program. Now this could be a done for you program. Typically done for you programs cost a lot more than $10,000, but a done with you, like a coaching program or some type of course that has a group membership on it or group coaching or things like that. Done with you programs very commonly sell. Sometimes they're $5,000, sometimes they're $10,000, sometimes they're $15,000 or $20,000. So $10,000 is a very common number for many of the channels that I produce for my clients, okay? So you give them a free gift, they become a lead. You nurture them, you invite them to a strategy session, you sell a program. So let me write some percentages here. Typically 3% will join a strategy session, will sign up for a strategy session, and then 1% will buy. Okay, so the 3% do the strategy session and then 1% actually buy a program, and so that's $10,000. From every 100 views, 10 people get your free gift and become a lead. And then of those 10, a third of them join a strategy session, so that's 3%. Then another third of those, from those 3 strategy sessions that you have, one person becomes a customer or a client and pays you $10,000 for your Done With You program. Okay, so now let me fill in the gaps. I'm going to fill in all the gaps here, first talking about the leaf strategy, okay? So let me teach you my tree analogy. You have an area of expertise, and just like a tree has a broad trunk that goes out to branches, that goes out to leaves, your core area of expertise is like that broad trunk. And your area of expertise has it, you could categorize it, in a variety of different ways. So that's like the branches of the tree. Well, the leaves on this tree represent the very specific questions that people are asking, okay? And you don't want to make videos on trunk topics that are really broad. You don't even want to make videos on categories. You want to make videos on very specific questions that people are asking. Now, in the month of December, I'm teaching my entire leaf strategy. I'm even demonstrating how to do this keyword research to find those leaf titles. So the month of December, I'm basically giving a whole course. There are 22 weekdays in December, and every weekday will be a new episode for this 22 module course that is going to be right here on YouTube. Okay, so now filling in the chart here, once you do the keyword research and you have the leaf title, these videos are like how-to videos that answer people's questions. They're giving value, they're typically 10 minutes long, and at the end of the video, we have a call to action. We're giving a free gift. So we might say, well, hey, now that you know the answer to this question, I have a free gift for you. I want to give you my free plus shipping book. Okay, that's very common. I've got a free plus shipping book. And the reason it's such a great call to action is because it's really valuable. People want that book and they're willing to take a step because you have to pay the shipping cost. You know, it's not like a $100 course or a $1,000 course. I mean, this is the first time people have heard of you before just through your YouTube video, but you're giving them something of really high value, and in exchange for that, they become a lead. You know, people are willing to give you their contact information so that they can get that book. Now, if you're curious about my book, you want to get my book for free, it's natesyoutubebook.com, and you can check out how I set up that landing page. I'll give you another example of a call to action. You can go to natesfreetraining.com. I have that set up as an automated webinar. It's 32 minutes long, but it's like an overview summary of my strategy that I've condensed down to 32 minutes. And so when I answer one of these leaf title videos on my channel, I can then send people to natesfreetraining.com. If you want to see another example, one of my clients, Noelle Randall, she's got noellsfreetraining.com. Hers is about an hour long, teaching her Airbnb real estate strategy. And it's such a valuable call to action, a valuable resource that Noelle is giving away, that after people have watched an hour-long training, they're very interested and they want to know what Noelle offers. What programs does she have? Because they want to work with her. Okay, so this next step here, nurture and invite. In fact, now that I've been talking about Noelle, let me tell you exactly what she does here, and I totally love it. So with her emails, she emails people every day for 40 days, but she doesn't push, she doesn't promote. She's not trying to sell anything in these emails. She is giving value. So just like she gives value in these videos, we're answering people's questions. In her case, she's teaching people about Airbnb real estate, or whatever you're teaching about, you're just giving away value. You give them a free gift, now they're on your email list, and then when you email them, it's sharing another tip, answering another question, giving some more value for free. But then every third or fourth email, you invite them and say, hey, would you be interested in jumping on a call with me? You know, it could be a Zoom call or whatnot. Let's have a strategy session. Here's a link to an application. Okay, something like that. So you nurture by giving more value, not selling. You're strengthening that relationship. And then every third or fourth email, you're inviting them to a strategy session. And guess what? 3% of those people, 3% of these 100 views typically end up scheduling that strategy session with you. They qualify themselves in and sign up for a strategy session. So I mentioned that in the month of December, there's going to be this 22 module course. Well, one of those modules is on this step right here, okay? There's also a module on this step. So let's talk about the strategy session and what that looks like, how do you sell a program that costs $10,000 in just a conversation? Typically it might be 45 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. What does that look like? Okay, so again, there's going to be an entire module in this in our episodes in December, but as a preview of what you're going to learn there, basically you learn how do you start out the conversation? What do you talk about? Like, how do you diagnose where they're at, where they're going, and this gap in between. Okay, so when you know where they're at, where they want to be, and this gap, if you have a program, a done with you program that can help bridge that gap, then the next step is just to say, how bad do you want it? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, are you a 5 or are you a 10? Like 10 meaning like I am going to do whatever it takes to accomplish this goal. It might be, I've got a 6-figure business and I want a 7-figure business, right? If you have a solution to help people get there, then you could say, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? Because turning a 6-figure business into a 7-figure business, that's not an easy thing. That's something that's going to take a lot of work and effort and commitment, right? And so you find out, what is your commitment level? Okay, so that's an example of what we're going to be talking in that module. But you've got to learn how to have a strategy session where you diagnose, and if you have a solution, you present that solution. Not everyone, if you're talking to 3 people, one of them is going to be a fit. One of them is going to be a fit, and you can offer them a $10,000 program. So now I want to talk for a minute about that. Like, what do you have to offer to be able to charge a price point like that of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, okay? You've got to be able to deliver an outcome, right? You can't just sell your time. yes, I'm going to offer you 3 different coaching sessions and it's going to be $10,000, because people do the math and say, that's over $3,000 for just 1 hour. Like that doesn't work, and I wouldn't buy that either. But without talking about the features, like we're going to have this many sessions, or you're going to get this product, or this is exactly what's going to happen, those are important things. But for someone to be interested in really understanding why it's worth a $10,000 investment, they need to understand the results that they're going to get. So with the example that I shared, somebody that's making 6 figures, let's say it's $220,000 that they made in this last year, but they want to make $1 million in a year. Would it be worthwhile to invest $10,000 if that was the outcome you could deliver, right? You know, what if it was a parenting program, like how to totally change the dynamic in your home so that there's no more yelling, so that your children do chores, so that there's calmness, and that children are self-governed. I mean, I'm describing Nicolene Peck. I've actually been through her program. Okay, could you imagine like spending $10,000 and getting that result? That would be so worth the result. Imagine a house of chaos and a house of order and calmness and obedience and kindness and no yelling. It's like, so when you paint the picture of the outcome and you can realistically deliver that outcome by taking somebody through a program, then they would definitely be interested and willing and hopeful and desirous and pleading with you like, please, can I do your program? Here's my $10,000. So in the month of December, my entire course, this 22 module course, is free. Just subscribe to the channel, and every weekday in December, starting on Thursday, December 1st through the end of the month, every weekday is a new episode, and every Saturday is a Q&A live stream. So not only do you get this entire course for free, but you get to submit your questions. If you go to asknate.net and submit your questions relating to the videos that you've watched so far, then that Saturday will be a live stream also here on YouTube, and I'll answer all those questions. I commit to you that the strategy you're going to learn in the month of December will result in you getting hundreds of views on your videos and generating tens of thousands of dollars of revenue in your business.